Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be the top 20 makeup releases of 2020. I was super excited to film this video because I think that 2020 has been a very strong year of makeup releases. I feel like this year there was a lot that came out that instantly became a favorite for me, that replaced some of the products that I had been using for a long time just because of its better quality and performance, and I cannot wait to share this list of 20 products with you. If you guys are excited for the video, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up before you leave. If you're new to my channel, my name is Patty and I would love it if you subscribe before you left. Also hit the notifications bell if you want to get notified when I upload. With that said, I have a lot to share with you, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so I know that 2020 has not quite ended, but usually there's not a lot of exciting makeup releases during the month of December, so I feel like I'm safe to make this video because usually it's like holiday releases. And so that it's even more fair, I went all the way back to December last year just in case I wanted to include any products that came out in December and didn't have a chance to be featured in like a 2019 favorites. And so starting in the month of December last year, I went through all of my videos, all of the products that I have tried and reviewed and liked, and I made a list of everything that I think was absolutely phenomenal, things that changed the way I do my makeup and that are now new staples, new absolute favorite products that came out during 2020. I wasn't sure how to go about this video and I thought maybe doing it in the order of makeup application would be a good idea. But there's quite a few products that fall into the same makeup category, so I went back to my original idea and I'm going to be sharing these products with you in order of release basically. So I'm going to start with a product that released very early on at the beginning of the year and then go on from there all the way till something that came out a week or two ago, I think, that I am very positive about. So without further ado, here is my list of the top 20 makeup releases in 2020. The first product I wanted to talk about, because it became an instant favorite, came out back in January of 2020, which by the way seems like an eternity ago, and that is the Futurist Hydra Rescue Foundation from Estee Lauder. This foundation has become one of my all-time favorite foundations. I love that it has a very high SPF. It has an SPF of 45, and it is a beautiful foundation with a natural to glowy finish. It covers all of my redness, but it still looks really nice and natural. It's hydrating, it doesn't show any of my dry patches, and it is a foundation that I can rely on a daily basis. It's very highly used by me. As you can see, I've used quite a bit of this one and I just love this foundation for everyday. If you were to ask me what's your favorite everyday foundation, something that you can put on quickly, you can rely on, covers everything that needs to be covered and looks natural, I would definitely say the Estee Lauder Hydra Rescue Foundation is that bitch, okay? I absolutely love this foundation. I have it in the color 2W1 Dawn and I think it is amazing. If you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend it. It definitely took the place of tinted moisturizers for me because it has such a high SPF and such an amazing coverage. Now let's move on to the second product that made this list. And that product is the Pillow Talk palette by Charlotte Tilbury. This came out back in February, I think it was. And this is such a staple palette. I know I just talked about an everyday foundation. This for me is an absolutely beautiful everyday palette. It's so easy to put on. It's so easy to combine the shades that come in here. This to me is like the modern version of what the Naked 3 palette used to be. If you guys ever had the Naked 3 palette, you know that that was like a palette that you can use on a daily basis, that was just easy, that you could do a lot with. It had nice nudie pinky tones, and that is exactly how I feel about this one. I can use this palette to death. I love that the shades are very long lasting, very pigmented, very blendable. It's like a no-brainer type of palette. You can use it for a lot of different occasions. She lays it out so that you know exactly what to use the shades for. And I think it was definitely one of the top releases this year. It is such a versatile palette, and I love the Charlotte Tilbury matte shades because they just blend out with such ease. So the Pillow Talk palette, highly recommended. I would dare say this is my favorite Charlotte Tilbury palette ever. I love it that much. Products 3 and 4 released together, and those are these two right here. They're both from Pat McGrath. The Pat McGrath concealer and the Pat McGrath under eye setting powder. These are game-changing products. Let's start with the concealer. The concealer is full coverage, creamy. It is pretty creaseless. I won't ever say a concealer is fully creaseless because I feel like every concealer can crease at least a little bit. This one creases very little. I feel like at the beginning when I first started putting it on, I was putting on way too much of it, and so I really liked it, but it wasn't like the love of my life in a concealer. I learned that a little bit goes a very long way and that I was using way too much product, and just by dotting it underneath my eyes and then blending it out, I like it so much better than I did when I was doing the most with it. I have this one in the color Light 6, and it's a color that works pretty well for me. I could also, I think, go a little bit lighter, but like I have it on right now and it looks really nice, so I think L6 is probably the best color for me. But I could go a little more highlighty, if you know what I mean. Anyways, this concealer, full coverage right away, blends out really easily. It doesn't crease much on me, and every concealer creases on me like crazy, and I need very little powder to set it with. It is either my #1 concealer of all time or my #2, because I also still love the YSL full cover, but it is up there and I reach for it a lot. Going back to the powder, you are about to see how much I've used this powder. This powder had like a little domed thing going on. Mine is fully flat. I have hit pan on it really badly, and I am soon due for a replacement, so of course I'm going to be buying another one of these because this powder is amazing. First of all, I love that it's a press baked powder, because any powder that I've ever had in the past that has this very nice thin texture has been a loose powder, which is very messy, and I really appreciate that this one is not a messy powder. The powders I'm comparing it to are like the Laura Mercier under eye powder, the e.l.f. under eye powder, and there was one other one that I loved. Becca, I think, made an under eye powder too that was very thin. Anyways, I definitely like this Pat McGrath one better than all of those. It is thinner, it hides your pores better. Most of the time I don't use any other powder besides this one because I only set underneath my eyes, a little bit in the center of my forehead and my chin, and I am good to go. It makes my makeup last for a very long time. It makes my pores be blurred. It's not a super mattifying powder, so it looks very natural underneath the eyes. It makes so that my concealer doesn't crease. It's everything I ever need in an under eye setting powder, honestly. It is such a good product. Absolutely obsessed with this one. I will continue to purchase it and use it. It came out in 2020 and it definitely changed the makeup game for me because I have not been able to go back to anything else. This is my absolute favorite. Okay, so product number 5 actually came out back in the springtime, but I didn't try it till like a few months ago because I kept hearing the hype about it and I didn't buy it when it was released, and when I bought it I was like, okay, I understand. I know what people are saying. It is the truth and I like it. I didn't buy it at first because it is quite a pricey primer. I think it is over $50 if I'm not mistaken, and it is the Tatcha the Liquid Silk Canvas Primer. Now for a primer, spending more than $50 seemed a little outrageous to me, but after I tried it I was like, okay, again, I get it. It's just a really amazing primer. It does everything that I need it to do. It makes my dry areas a little bit more hydrated. It is, in my opinion, the best pore smoothing primer I've ever tried because it is thin enough that even though it covers your pores, it doesn't look thick on your skin or anything. It makes your makeup last longer and it just wears amazingly underneath your makeup all day long. There's not a con to this product. Like, everything about it is absolute perfection, is very positive, and I highly recommend that you try it. Again, I've only had it for like 3 to 4 months, even though it came out back in the spring, but I've never tried a primer that compares, and I've never tried a primer as good as this one. Moving on to the month of April, I remembered this product coming out back when the Sephora Spring Savings event was going on, and the product I'm going to talk about is the Patrick Ta Brow Wax. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you that watch my channel regularly saw this one coming because I can't shut up about it. This is a brow wax that lifts your brows and it makes them stay super nice and fluffy. It definitely fully changed the way I fill in my eyebrows, and I have never been happier with the way my eyebrows look, and so this product is a definite must-have for me. Now be aware that if you're using this on a daily basis like I do, you are going to have to purchase it 3 to 4 times throughout the year, because this product came out back in April and this is my 3rd time that I buy it, and I will continue to buy it because I really love it that much. I have never found anything else that makes my eyebrows stay like this one does, because my eyebrows grow down and this one really just shapes them so good and makes them so fluffy. It's definitely given me a lot of confidence, because I feel like my brows are something that I was always self-conscious of because my hairs grow down, and when I took my like up close pictures you could see that, and now they look nice and fluffy in all of the pictures, and I have this brow wax to thank for it. So I think that having a spot on this list is definitely deserved for this product. I love it. Around the same time, Fenty released her cream bronzers, and that is another product that absolutely had to make this list. I have mine in number 2. The color is called Butter Biscuit, and this product I absolutely love. It looks so natural, and I really like this color for me because even though it doesn't make me look super tan right away, it has a really nice neutral to cool undertone on my skin that makes my face look a lot more shaped when I put it on. It is an absolute bliss to put this product on because you don't have to think about it. It blends with amazing ease. It is one of the easiest products to put on. I feel like sometimes cream and liquid products sound a little bit like intimidating. This one, feel fully confident to buy and put it on because you're not going to have any trouble blending it. It blends out like a dream. I can totally use this product alone, and I have used it alone a bunch of times, but my preferred way to use it is as like a little bit of like a base for my powder bronzer lately, because it shapes my face so nicely, and then I have to put a lot less of powder bronzer on top, and this one works as a contour product for me. So needless to say, I absolutely love this bronzer. I reach for it all the time, and it has become one of my favorite products and one of the staple products in my makeup collection. Then we have the first palette I'll be talking about in this video, but there will be more palettes to come. Palettes are essentially the reason I didn't talk about things in order of application, because I have quite a few palettes to talk about and it just didn't make sense. I'd rather do it in the order that things came out. Anyways, the first palette on my list came out also around the springtime, and it is this bad boy right here. This is the Pat McGrath Mothership number 8, the Divine Rose 2 palette. 2020 was an amazing year for Pat McGrath, and I had so much fun discovering her products and her formulas and her collection. I tried a lot of Pat McGrath this year. Not just the products that she brought out this year, but I also bought a lot of products that she had from previous years that I hadn't had the opportunity to try. Anyways, this palette right here is definitely one of the best releases this year. She put this beautiful multi-chrome shade in this palette that is one of the most special eyeshadows. This palette is very special because it's nice and bold, but at the same time it's very versatile, and it performs amazingly. I do have it in the limited edition packaging that we were all dying for at the beginning of the year. And anyways, this palette is very special to me, which is why I think it is definitely one of the top 20 releases this year. The next product I want to talk about is my new favorite bronzer. This bronzer is the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. It came out this year and I have mine in the color number 2. I absolutely love the formula in this bronzer. It is so nice and smoothing and blendable. It makes your skin look so smooth when you put this powder on. I love putting it on top of products like that Fenty cream bronzer. It works amazingly like that, and it is just such a good bronzer. If you've been curious about this one, I think the formula in this bronzer is absolutely special. It's so buttery, so blendable. I think the only flaw this bronzer has is that there is a big jump between the shades. I feel like there might be a need for a color that is darker than 1 and lighter than 2, and there's definitely a huge need for a color that is in between 2 and 3. Luckily, number 2 works really nicely for my skin tone, but I feel like if there was like a 2.5, a lot more people would be obsessed with this bronzer, because 3 can be a little bit too orangey, I feel like, and this one can be a little bit too light if you have a skin tone just a little bit darker than mine. However, if you think the shades would work for you, definitely give this bronzer a try because the formula is superb. The second palette I'm going to talk about came out, I think, at the beginning of summer, and that is the Natasha Denona Bronze Palette. This palette has quickly become one of my favorites. If you saw my video ranking the Natasha Denona palettes that I uploaded a few days ago, you know that this is now one of my absolute favorite Natasha Denona palettes. And it is because it just has such a nice selection of shades. These right here are the shades that I love to gear toward. These are the shades that I like picking up to use on a daily basis. These are the shades that I feel the most comfortable wearing, and that combined with the amazing Natasha Denona formulas made this palette be one of my top favorite palettes that have released this year. So I highly recommend that you try it. I love that it's her midi size palette, which is only $65 versus spending over $100 on a palette. I simply love it and I highly recommend it. I know that there is a lot of high-end and luxury products in this video, and that is because I feel like those are the ones that excite me the most, the ones that have the most hype behind them, and so those are the ones that I'm most inclined to buy and love. However, this next product is not luxury or high-end. It is a beautiful ColourPop product, and that is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Foundation. This is their Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation, and I love this foundation so much. It has the perfect amount of coverage, it has my favorite type of finish, and it is such an affordable foundation. So I have mine in the color Light 60 Neutral, which it's a little bit too peachy. If it was a little bit more neutral, I would love it even more. But this foundation is spectacular. It has a nice medium buildable coverage, a natural to glowy finish. It wears for a very long time and it lasts really nicely throughout the day. I gave this foundation a raving review when I first tried it and I stick by it. It was a really good release and definitely my favorite foundation I've ever tried from ColourPop. So unless you're super oily, I highly recommend that you try this foundation if you're in the market for a new one, because I think you will really like it. Then Pat McGrath released a product that instantly became my absolute favorite mascara, and that is this one right here. This is the Dark Star Mascara from Pat McGrath. As soon as I tried this mascara, I instantly knew that I had something very special in my hands. Let me tell you about my lashes and how I like my mascaras to be, because everybody has different lashes and different preferences when it comes to mascara. I have long, thin lashes, I would say. So I love mascaras that are going to give me a lot of volume, but because my lashes are thin, they tend to clump together easily. So I need a mascara that is going to give me good volume, good length, but at the same time that is going to separate my lashes, because I don't like them to look clumped together. And this mascara is the perfect one at doing that. Mascaras that were my favorite in the past that are now my second and third favorite are mascaras like Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir, La Volume de Chanel, the Shock Mascara by YSL. Those kinds of mascara were my absolute favorite before I tried this one. So if you like those, I would say definitely give this one a try, because you might like this one even more. I have seen a lot of comments of people that have bought it based on my recommendation and have been absolutely loving it. So I definitely highly recommend this one. It is currently my favorite mascara that I own, and I hope that it doesn't run out anytime soon. The next product is a lipstick, and it's the only lipstick I put on this list, and that is this one right here. This is a Divinity lipstick from Pat McGrath, and the color is Nude Venus. The color is, I think, one of the most important parts, because I love the formula, but I also have a different color in this formula that I don't reach for at all. So Nude Venus from Pat McGrath is definitely the one to check out. Is the lipstick that I'm wearing. It is super basic, I know, but it instantly became one of my favorite lipsticks. I love the formula of her Divinity lipsticks. It's like the perfect combination between a gloss, a lipstick, and a lip balm. It's hydrating, it's shiny, and it's got some color to it. all-in-one. I'm wearing it with the structure lip liner from Pat McGrath around it, and I absolutely love that combination. But what I love most about it is definitely the lipstick. So if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely check out the Nude Venus lipstick from Pat McGrath because it is amazing. Then we have the second product that kind of helped me change my brow routine this year, and that is the ABH eyebrow pen. I had been into hunt for a really good eyebrow pen for a very long time. This year I also tried the Glossier eyebrow pens and the MAC eyebrow pen. This is called the shade Brow Tint from MAC. And these were okay, but I wasn't blown away by them. And then this eyebrow pen from ABH came out, and I really love it. I have mine in the color Ebony, and it is basically what I'm wearing besides the wax on my eyebrows today. It matches my hairs perfectly, and it gives my eyebrows a lot of fullness, and it still makes them look nice and fluffy because I can draw little hairs with it. I like that the tip of it is very thin and that the hairs look defined, which is what I wasn't getting with the other pens I tried. The Glossier ones were like a little bit too light of a formula. I couldn't get the look of a hair with them. They were kind of like a tint, like if I were tinting my eyebrows, and that's not what I was looking for. I wanted to do hair strokes, and with the MAC one I feel like I sometimes could get the hair strokes, but I had to be very careful with it because the brush tip was a little bit too thick. And this is the perfect thing that I was looking for. The tip is perfectly thin, the formula is perfectly dark, and I absolutely love it. Okay, moving on to product number 15. I know I haven't counted them all, but we are at product number 15 now. REPHR Beauty came out, the Selena Gomez makeup line. It is an exclusive to Sephora line, and when it came out I tried quite a few things from there, and a lot of them were okay, but like nothing impressive or over the top that I was crazy about, except for the blushes. I have mine in the color Bliss, and I honestly haven't gone back to look at any other of the colors because I thought the rest of them were a little bit too dark, and Bliss is actual perfection for me. It is what I'm wearing on my cheeks today, and as you can see, it's like a little blushy but nothing over the top. My blush is not jumping at you, and that is what I love about it. I love that the color is nice and subtle. It blends out very easily with my beauty blender. I can get it exactly where I want it, and I absolutely love this blush and the way that it looks on me. I definitely recommend it if you have light to fair skin. If you're medium or darker, I would look into the other colors because I feel like it might be a little bit too light. But I think I'm going to have this forever, by the way, because you need very little of it and you get a lot. But Bliss is my absolute favorite, and I think that this is the best product that she released when her line first came out. The blush. I really love the blush. Now we're going to start getting into the more recent releases, the fall and holiday releases, and the first thing I want to talk about is the Celestial Divinity palette by Pat McGrath. I think this palette was an amazing release because this palette made Pat McGrath accessible to a lot of people who hadn't bought her palettes before. To a lot of people, spending over $190, $80 on a palette is absolutely outrageous. In the past, I was not spending that much money on palettes either. And so this Pat McGrath palette is perfect because it has 18 beautiful shades. It is her formula. She didn't change it. She didn't cheapen it or anything. And it made 18 of her shades be available at a more reasonable price. Originally, the palette is $78, and with the sales that she's been having on her website lately, a lot of people have been able to get it 25% off of the original price, and so I think that is an absolutely great deal for this palette. And if you've been curious about trying the Pat McGrath formula, this to me is the way to go because you'll try a lot of her shades for a much more reasonable price. The packaging is not going to be as luxurious as her usual packaging is, but I feel like we can all understand why. And so I highly recommend that palette. I really love it, and I think it's one of the best things that has come out this year. Product number 17 is this one right here, the I Need a Nude Glow highlighter from Natasha Denona. This has instantly become my favorite highlighter. I feel like when the Amrezy highlighter from ABH first came out and everybody was obsessed with it, that is how I feel about this highlighter. I'm obsessed with it. I can't stop using it. I think it is the perfect highlighter for me. I like that it has a nice golden tone. I like that it's super thin, so it just blends right into the skin. It doesn't look like it's sitting on top. I don't think it enhances my texture, and I don't have the smoothest cheeks per se, and it just blends so nicely on top of my makeup. I absolutely love the glow that it gives me. You guys can see it right there, and I think it is the best highlighter that has come out recently. I don't know, I don't have to justify myself. It's just my favorite. I love it. I recommend it, and if you haven't tried it yet, you should check it out because it's wonderful. Okay, 3 more products to go. This one is a 2-in-1 because I couldn't pick one, and that is the Quads by Pat McGrath that she released also as part of her holiday collection. They are the Interstellar Icon and Risque Rose palettes. I literally cannot pick in between these two because I like them both for different reasons, and I like them both the same. When I first reviewed this collection, I said this one was my favorite one, but that same day when I was editing the video, I was like, but wait, the blue one looks more impressive. So I just cannot pick. I think maybe the blue one, but I really love this one as well. This is the color that I'm wearing on my eyelid today. And it's just such a nice shimmer that this one has that I think that I like them both the same. So you guys make your own decision on this. But anyways, the reason that these two made my list is because they're really nice full-size Pat McGrath eyeshadows, and just by buying one of these quads, whichever one, you can create multiple Pat McGrath looks. These quads are super versatile. You can create so many looks with each one of these, and they have incredible shimmers and just an incredible formula all around. I really love both of these palettes so much, and I think it was an absolutely wonderful release. My camera died when I had only 2 more products to go, so I'm finally back after charging my battery for a little bit. And so let's get to product number 19, and that is the Huda Beauty Stick Foundation. This is my favorite stick foundation I have ever tried, period. The end. It is so easy to use. It is so easy to blend. It blends out amazingly. It covers whatever you want it to cover because it is a really pretty buildable coverage. If you want to obtain a very natural look with it, you can just spread it out really nicely and get that. If you want to build it to a medium coverage, you can build it to a medium coverage. That's usually my favorite way to use it. And then if there's any areas of concern that you want to fully cover, then you can also spot treat those areas to get the most coverage out of this foundation. I love to blend it out with a brush, but you can definitely also use it with a sponge, and the formula is just amazing. I also love that she didn't put any fragrance in it because sometimes she can overdo it with the fragrances a little bit, and so this foundation definitely deserves a spot in this list because this is definitely one of the best products that came out this year, and like I said, best stick foundation I have ever tried. It is very highly recommended. Alright, so now last but definitely not least, the new Glamnetic Lash Collection. These came out, I think, maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. They sent over 2 of their new lashes. I have OMG and On My Way. On My Way are the lashes that I have on. If I have to recommend a pair to you guys, it would be the On My Way pair because as you can see, they look glamorous but at the same time very natural. I am wearing them with a more glamorous eye look today, but I can also do a very natural everyday look and they would look just as nice. And then my favorite thing about these lashes is that Glamnetic is a new company. They are very innovative, and so they're improving their products a lot with every release. These are the best lashes that they have ever made. They made the magnets half the size of the magnets that they had before, so now you can put these on top of an extremely thin liner and they stay on like crazy because the magnets are half the size but double the strength per se, so they stick on like if you glued them on. Basically they stick on really nicely, and the lash band is very thin so they look a lot more natural. The only con with magnetic lashes is that you always have to wear eyeliner, but now I can make the eyeliner line so thin that it doesn't look like I'm wearing eyeliner at all. and the lashes stay on forever. They feel extremely secure, and then the only thing you have to do just to make sure your ends don't lift is to put the little anchors underneath it, and you are so good to go. I feel like there's more chance of a strip glue-on lash lifting than these magnetic lashes lifting, to be completely honest with you. Now, I do recommend that if you get any magnetic lashes, you get their liquid magnetic eyeliner rather than the felt tip one. The felt tip one is a little bit easier to apply, but I feel like this one has better magnetism, so definitely get the liquid one and not the felt tip one. And then get their newest collection. Again, my favorite one was the On My Way one, but the OMG ones are also really beautiful, just a lot more glamorous and long. If you want to go for the more natural look, the On My Way lashes are the way to go. If you use my Instagram handle at checkout, PATTYCALONSO, I think you're currently getting 20% off. It's not an affiliated code, it's just for you guys to save some money. However, they've been having some crazy discounts lately, so if you go to their website and you see a better deal than the 20%, definitely use the better deal, don't use my code. But otherwise, use PATTYCALONSO at checkout and you can get 20% off of your purchase. And so that was the 20th product and the last product on my list. I debated putting so many other products on here, but they weren't necessarily 2020 releases, and I wanted to keep the list strictly to things that were released for the first time this year. There's a lot of things that I tried this year but were released in previous years that I want to share with you though. So if you guys have any ideas for a video title or something like that with products that I tried this year but were launched in previous years, let me know down in the comment section below, because that's a video I want to make, but I'm not sure how to go about it. Anyways, I truly hope that you guys liked my top 20 makeup releases of 2020. This video was so much fun to make. I loved going through everything I've tried this year and selecting the best of the best to share with you guys. Let me know down in the comment section if you've tried any of these products and how you're liking them. Also, let me know which product you think I'm missing. What is one of the products you think is the best thing that launched this year that I don't have on my list? And if I don't own it, I might want to try it. If you guys like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you leave. It really helps me out when you guys just give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribed before you left. Ring the notifications bell if you want to get notified when I upload. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye!